everybody. Welcome back to Knuckle Sandwich MMA. I've got my cohort, my sidekick, my faithful companion right there. That's Nando. And I'm Alex, as you all know. Man, I tell you, my voice is really loud. I'm super excited. Nando, we got to recap 285. I mean, there's just too much talk going on about it. But one thing that I've been listening to, Nando, before we begin is everybody saying the same things. I want the knuckle sandwich take on this card, okay? And we're just going to talk about a few of the fights because there were some fantastic upsets, and that's kind of where I want to stick with there, mainly on the main card. Even though there were great fights all throughout the whole card, but we got the new upcoming fight to consider and to take the time to do. So we're gonna touch on this real quick and then move forward. All right, Nando. Dude, I'm blown away. What was your thoughts on UFC 285, and which fight stood out the most to you?
Okay, I'm gonna say that Grasso surprised me a lot. I said she had no chance, but I was right. She had a better chance than Cyril Gane. She definitely did better, and it reminded me of the Luke Rockhold, Chris Weidman. That kick, she did that spinning kick, and then Grasso jumped on her like a koala bear.
Yeah,
took her right to the ground and choked her out. And I think Shevchenko was talking about all this fear, and she doesn't want to be in there. And once I started hearing a lot of the interviews, I was like, I don't know, is this going to be like the same thing where Joanna was telling, telling Rose, you're weak, you're mentally weak, you got beat up as a kid, I'm going to beat you up. That whole bully mentality. Well, it didn't work for Grasso at all. Grasso went in there. She kept it basic. Like, I thought she was going to have to do all this other stuff to win. She just kept it basic. She kept on getting the punches she can get. And then eventually Shevchenko was like, I'm winning this fight by takedowns. I'm going to do this kick, and then I'm going to maul her. And it was a bad decision on her. She should have just not went for that kick, I guess.
well, I'll tell you my take on it also. I thought that's the one that made me jump off of my chair, yelling and screaming, and because of the way that it happened. But I think also they were talking. A lot of people are talking about Shevchenko's mistakes, but when you look at Grasso, the adjustments that she made, okay, after she's getting taken down repeatedly, the adjustments she made in the fourth round was fantastic, because she was listening to her coaches. They were telling her, okay, you got to do this, just go down a little bit more, and it changed up the whole game. And did you see the clip of her practicing that exact move she pulled on Shevchenko with the spinning back kick?
Yeah.
Dude, they did it exactly in the back room. Before they came out, they were practicing that because they said, get in close, crowd her so that leg hooks around you, and then take her down. And they practiced the right thing. She fell right into a trap, like, was amazing. You know how they always talk about setting up traps. I'm going to set up a trap, and Shevchenko hook, line, and sinker, bro. So you can't just say it was a Shevchenko mistake that cost her the title. It was the planning.
No, Grasso was very, very good. I think they're going to try to do a rematch. I'd like to see her fight somebody else. But,
yeah,
Dana was talking about he wants to do Grasso versus Valentina. What is it? Volkanovski versus what's his? Why can't I think of his name? Who just won the interim featherweight title?
I'm trying to think now. I don't know. Anyways,
Pantera is his nickname. Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
and then Brandon Moreno. They want to do it for Cinco de Mayo.
Yair. Yeah.
Yair.
It won't work for Cinco de Mayo. There's no way. But I think if they have somebody was talking about them selling out 2 stadiums if they have all 3 of the Mexican champions down in Mexico City. They'd be able to rent the whole freaking soccer stadium or something like that. The other one, we'll talk about John Jones in just a second because that's the obvious one. But Jeff Neal and Shavkat, man, what a fight! What was your thoughts on that fight?
I thought it was really good. I thought Shavkat is looking better. They're talking about him wanting, to fight somebody big, fight for the title, and they're talking about Colby. They're talking, but Colby doesn't want to fight unless it's for the title, and they're saying Colby should fight Hamzat, but he's like, if Hamzat wins, I get a title. He gets a title. If I win, I get nothing. I don't want to do that. So they're gonna wait and see on the Usman fight. But yeah, I think Shavkat looked good. He got rocked. He got hurt, but he won the fight.
Yeah.
And Dana gave Geoff money, even though he didn't make weight, which is unheard of.
Yeah, that was crazy. Hold on one second. So I thought both of them looked really good. I saw a couple of mistakes that Jeff Neal made. Shavkat also, he was standing in the pocket a little long. He was taking some shots too, but it proves that he can take some shots because we haven't really been able to see. He's been so dominant, and Jeff Neal to give him such a big fight, a hard fight was telling on both sides to show you how tough. Because Neal took some punishment, man, and it was a great fight. And so I kind of agree that it was the fight of the night just because of the brutal violence that ensued. Now, let's talk about what everybody's talking about, and we're talking all over the interwebs. I'm not just talking in the MMA community. I'm talking about worldwide. People are talking about this fight. Give me your take, Nando. I want the expert opinion. Give it to me.
I think he looked a little slower, but he went in there, and I was surprised that he got kicked, a groin kick to him. And I think Cyril Gahn, as soon as he did that, he's like, oh man, I made this guy mad. Because then he just went in there, walked him down, pinned him against the cage, and it was not much of anything. I think Cyril Gahn gave up. I think I was right. I was listening to us talk about it last week. I think he really needs to go to TriStar, or go with Khabib. Khabib saying, "Come with me, bring your camp, but spend like 2 years here, and we'll make you a champion."
Yep, and that the comments that he made previously are coming back to haunt him, especially after that performance for Cyril Gahn, and that is taking time off between fights and just training just before the fights and that kind of stuff. That come back to haunt him, man. But I think Cyril Gahn's face, he's got a great poker face because he's got that permanent grin. He's always grinning, and so it's really hard to read, like if he was scared. I think he was. I think the mystique of John Jones did get him. I think it got him, especially when he got in the cage and he was looking over at him. He looks kind of big. He looks kind of big, but also I think the way that Jones had him down, if you look at the fight, when he had him against the cage, all of his weight was on the back of his neck, dude. And with his arm underneath the chin, it was like a double choke type of a deal because the pressure on the back of the neck, pushing it, and Jones pulling up with his arm, he would have popped his head clean off if he hadn't tapped. But all that weight, Cyril Gahn, he was stuck. He didn't. I don't know if he didn't know what to do or he was just stuck.
Yeah, he was pinned. He was pinned against the cage. He was on his butt. He needed to kind of wiggle his leg under his butt and kind of because he was like flat, like an L, like this.
Yeah,
and
but
he
with
kind of
Jones on the back of your neck, 250 pounds of weight. I don't know if it's that's easy to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He couldn't get out. The other thing is everybody's fat shaming poor John Jones, man. What do you expect? He's a heavyweight. he probably shouldn't have wore his light heavyweight shorts, but you know, those were some short shorts, but
Well, I think all the talk about his physique and what he looked like, it doesn't matter, dude, because you know what? They've always called him chicken legs, toothpick legs, and he's undefeated. What are you talking about? You can't go around, talking about what he looked like. Everybody said, well, he looked soft, he looked this, he looked that. That's why I'm saying here at Knuckle Sandwich, we look past the obvious. Okay, we look past those things. We try to dig a little deeper, you guys. And John Jones, the confidence that he rolled out with, saying it was going to be easy. When you can start predicting how it's going to go and what you're going to do, and tell your opponent what you're going to do, and then do it, that's Conor McGregor-ish, man.
Yeah, it was great because he got in there. It was kind of like a tune-up fight for him. Now he's got Stipe, which is a harder fight. He knows what he feels like at that weight. It was the perfect outcome for him.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think he's going to go back with Henry Cejudo. They're going to look over some things, and they're going to try to fix it.
Well, I think he proved his point after being gone for 3 years, and coming back and winning so easily. Whether he looks slower or not, that's beside the point too, because that fight was over so quickly. He knows what he's doing. I mean, his experience for the big fights, coming out, and I know that everybody's also talking about Ngannou. It doesn't matter. Ngannou's not coming back, so don't, we can fantasize, we can play fantasy football here, but those guys actually play in fantasy football, and Ngannou's not coming back. I don't see it. I don't see it happening. Besides that, I think he's a memory now that John Jones is a heavyweight champ, because now Dana White and company are going to focus on, shooting. He's already a huge star. Look at where the posts are. They're everywhere about John Jones, everywhere. And I'm curious to see what the pay-per-views were, I know they had a hell of a gate.
Really well.
Yeah, I know they had a hell of a gate for that and sold out. So it's going to be great. But we must move forward. Here at Knuckle Sandwich, Nando and I, we're always looking for the next fight. We're always looking for the next fight. And we got it right here for you guys. We are talking about Jan versus Merab. Is that right?
Merab Dvalishvili.
Yeah.
Dvalishvili, I think. Dvalishvili.
Yep. So, and this one is a bit of a grudge match, I have to admit, because Merab is team Sterling, and they're partners. They're team partners, and they practice together and everything else. And Jan talks a lot of smack. He's good for that. I like both of their attitudes. But this is going to be a great card too, and that's coming up Saturday, March 11th at 4 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, and that's going to be at the theater at Virgin Hotels, Las Vegas, Nevada. So there you go, guys. An earlier card, which is good for Nando and I, because then we can, watch those fights a little bit later. All right, Nando, let's start from the bottom, because we want to give credit to all of these fantastic fighters. Dude, if you're in the UFC, come on, you're in the top fighting organization in the world. So you got to get some respect. You got to get some love on your name. So first bout of the evening is Carlton Harris versus Jared Gooden. What do you got on that?
I don't have Jared Gooden on that. I have Charleston Harrison, 35-17-5, 4-5. Last loss to Shavkat, but I have the wrong person. I had Nurmagomedov, but I guess he's not fighting, so I don't have anything on Jared.
Okay, sorry. No problem. That's the first card fight kicking off the card. Next up, we have a flyweight bout. We got Tyson Nam, who's ranked number 15, versus Bruno Silva. What do you got there?
Tyson Nam is 39, 21-12, 3-5, Sports Lab. Last fight was a win. Bruno Silva, 32, 12-5, 2-2-1. He's from the Pitbull Brothers. He has 2 wins.
Excellent. Okay. Now, next up, I want to take a minute for this fight. Now, Nando, if there's something that strikes your fancy, let's talk about it, okay? This one I want to talk about a little bit. Victor Henry versus Tony Gravely at a bantamweight bout. And I'll let you give the stats on this, and then I want to talk about this fight a little bit.
Victor Henry's 35. He's 22-6, 3 of 5. His last fight was a loss. Tim Gravely's 31, 23-8, 3 of 5. American top team. His last fight was a loss.
Okay, so Victor Henry, this dude has got some interesting skills. I like his fighting style. Gravely is he's a force to be reckoned with as well. I see this as a very competitive fight, but Victor Henry is sporting the odds at a minus 135 to a plus 115. It's not a huge gap, but Tony has been in the fight game a little bit longer than Victor Henry, so that's interesting because I think of his last showings and just the way his fighting style. He has a lot of tools in his arsenal, so keep a lookout for this one, Nando, because I think it's going to be a good fight. All right, next up we have Ariane Lipski versus JJ Aldrich, women's flyweight bout.
Okay, Ariane Lipski's 29, 14-8, 205 American top team. Last fight was a loss. JJ Aldrich is 30, 11-5, 3 of 5 freedom fighters. Her last loss was Erin Blatchfield. I think this is going to be a really good fight. I mean, they're pretty matched up, but I like Lipski in this fight. I'm a fan of Lipski.
I like Lipski too. I think she's more versatile. She moves around the cage really well as well. And Aldrich moves forward quite a bit. She's super strong though. That's one thing you can't discount. She's very, very strong, but she takes hits to the head. And that's worrisome to me, especially if you got a striker. And I'm going to look at the reach differentials. Now their reach is similar, 67 inches apiece. Leg almost identical, leg reach 38 to 37. This is going to be a good fight. You're right, Nando. It's going to be a good fight, man. Okay, now this next one I also want to talk about because I'll tell you why. We've got Mario Bautista versus Guido Canetti at a bantamweight bout. And give me the stats on this.
Mario Bautista's 29, 11-2, 3-fight win streak. He's from the MMA lab. Guido is 10-6, 2 of the last 5. R-Town MMA, and he's on a 2-fight winning streak. So both of these guys are on the up and up.
Yeah. And Guido has won a couple of fights that nobody thought he would win. You know what I mean? He fought some tough young dudes, yeah. And he pulled a rabbit out of a hat. So he still has that yearning, and you can't discount that kind of a fighting spirit. But on the flip side, we got Mario Bautista, and this dude is a savage. He's mean, man. He wants to put a lot of pain on you. He wants to hurt you, and you can see it. Everything he does, and it's not necessarily just knockout. I want to knock your head off. He just wants to hurt you wherever he can grab you. If he can grab you, if he can do something to you, he's gonna maximize whatever it is he's gonna do to you. So he's not just looking for the knockout. This dude is going to be a contender. I say if he fights 2 times this year, he'll break into contender spot.
Oh, really? In the top 15?
Yeah, because of his fighting style, his acumen. He's very knowledgeable. That fight IQ is right up there. So is Guido Canetti, though. He's got a great fight IQ too.
Yeah,
I'm going to pick Mario Bautista on this one.
Okay, I'm going to go with Canetti.
Oh, you're taking the older guy, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
I think we agreed too much, and I think you're getting me to lose too much now.
Okay, next up we have Cedricus Dumas versus Josh Frem at a middleweight bout. And what do you have on those 2 guys?
Okay. Dumas is 37, 7-0 contenders. He came from Masvidal's fight organization. He's team Remedy. Josh Friend is 39, 9-4, 205, Factory X MMA, and he has 2 losses.
Okay. All right.
So
Do you have a dog in this race?
I think I'm gonna go with Dumas.
You're gonna go with Dumas? I'm gonna go with Dumas too. Now you know what? I'm gonna change up. I'm gonna go with Prem.
All right.
I'm
Can
gonna
you hold on one moment?
Yeah.
Pause it real quick.
Hold on a sec. Okay, so next up we have Raphael Assuncao versus Davey Grant at bantamweight bout. What are your stats on that one?
I like Assuncao. He's 40 though. He's 28-9, one of the last 5 Accession MMA. His last fight was a win. Davey Grant's 37, 14-6, 3-5, Northeast top team. His last fight was a win, but Assuncao's getting older and older, and he's getting more and more tread on the tire. You know what I mean? It's just I don't know how much longer. He's not really in the title picture. He's not ranked right now, so it's tough to kind of say what his heart and his mind is.
Well, he had a string of losses before this last win, though, right?
Yeah, he's 1 of 5.
Oh wow!
So if his last fight was a win, he had 4 losses in a row.
Well, I think, in my opinion, I think Davey Grant. I'm going to pick Davey Grant on this one because he's going to build his brand off of Assuncao. Because if you beat Assuncao, he's such a tough fighter and such a legend in the sport. You know, he's been around forever. If you beat him coming up in the as you're coming up like a Davey Grant, Grant can take some punishment, but he's mean too. So I think he's got more to gain by beating Assuncao, even though he's not ranked. And then next up, we have the main fight of the prelims. We've got Carl Williams versus Lukas Brzezinski. And what are your stats on that? That's a heavyweight bout.
Yeah, Carl Williams is 33, 7-1, ATT Atlanta, 4-fight win streak. He's a contender. Lucas is 30, 8-2, 2-1-2. He's from NKSW Holy Team, and his last fight was a loss. Not sure exactly where Brzezinski's from, but he looks pretty mean.
He's Polish.
Oh, he's Polish? Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to go with Carl Williams.
And that's his debut, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So did you say he's coming off of the Contender Series?
Yeah.
Okay. Ooh, those are scary. Those dudes are scary coming off the Contender Series, man.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to go with you on this one. I think the debut guys are seeing success, especially coming off of that series in particular. So I'm going to go with Carl Williams as well on that one. Now on to the main card. This is a good card, guys. There's going to be some sleeper hits in here, and I don't mean to sound, no pun intended, sleeper hits. Somebody's going to get slept, but this is how I see it. So we're going to start off with the first bout on the main card, and that's a big main card. We've got Vitor Petrino versus Anton Turkalj in a light heavyweight bout. What do you got there, Nando?
Vitor Petrino is 25, 7-0 CMM system. He's also a contender. Anton Turkalj is 26, 8-1, 4 of the last 5 CBG MMA, and his last fight was a loss. Okay. I don't have a lot on them. There wasn't a lot posted on them.
Yeah, it's interesting to me. I'm not sure.
That's what I do have.
Yeah. Oh, there's a feedback there. I'm not sure if why this fight is on the main card, to be honest with you. I don't know why. Other than they expect it to be a knockdown, drag out brawl. That's the only thing that makes any sense to me. So next up, we have Saeed Nurmagomedov. That dude's an animal too, versus Jonathan Martinez at bantamweight. This one is an interesting matchup. What are your thoughts, and what's the stats on this?
Nurmagomedov is ranked 14th right now. He's 30, 17-2, 4-fight win streak. Agsmat fight team. He has like a Zabit kind of style. He's from Dagestan with all those boys. His great kicks, nice distance, back fist. He had a ninja choke. I was supposed to look that up, but I didn't look up. He had something called the ninja choke. Jonathan Martinez, 28, 17-4, 4-fight win streak, Factory X. He has good punches. He is a knee destroyer. Like I watched multiple videos. He just likes to kick people right in the knee and just I think, as far as I remember, there's only been 3 leg stoppages, and he's one of them. So he's in good company. A guy named, Rose Namajunas' husband, Pat Barry, is one of them. And I remember that the guy was like, "No, I'm done. Like, if you're gonna continue kicking my leg, I'm not fighting anymore."
Well, and I'm glad you told me that, because I was that's messing up my pick a little bit, because I do remember that. I do remember he can kick, man. He can kick. I don't know. I don't know if I'm completely sold on his grappling, because that's what Nurmagomedov brings. He's hard to, but he likes to strike too. You know, he's
more of a striker, but he has that.
But he has that in his back pocket if he needs it, right? He just has it in his back pocket. And when those Dagestanis get you down, man, it's hard to get back up. So here's my pick, okay? And I'm cheating, but this is the way I see it. If it's standing, I'm gonna go with Martinez. If it's on the ground, you gotta go with Nurmagomedov. So there you go. That's why they don't allow me to bet.
That's not a. I don't. Do I just put you in the middle?
Yeah, I guess so.
you get the winner no matter what. Okay, I'm gonna
lean on Nurmagomedov's side for the win.
Okay, so I'm moving more over here.
And who do you got?
I got Nurmagomedov.
Okay. All right. Next up, we have Ricardo Ramos against Austin Lingo for a featherweight bout. What do you have on this one?
Ricardo Ramos is 27, 16-4, 205, team alpha male. Last fight was a win. He likes to paw at the guy. He has great distance, good puncher, good takedowns. He likes to paw, and then he just throws haymakers. So it kind of like sizes you up and then punches. Austin Lingo's 28, 9-1, 4 of the last 5. Fortis MMA, 2-fight win streak. Last fight was in 2021. He's a great boxer, great counters. He said that he's been off a while, but he thinks he's gonna be good. But you never know. When you take a lot of time off, it can be good or it cannot be good. Not everybody's Dominic Cruz.
Yeah, it could be good or really bad.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with
Ricardo Ramos.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go with Ramos.
Ramos too. 2 for the Ramos.
Okay.
Oh, this is the one. This next one was delayed because it's Nikita Krylov versus Ryan Spann at a catchweight bout. And they had to do a catchweight bout because Krylov got sick they were supposed to fight not on the last card, but the previous card a couple of weeks ago. And that got called off like at the last minute. And Spann was heartbroken because he was ready to go. And so it's hard to keep that camp mentality up when that happens, because, you know, then you're going into an extra long camp of 2 more weeks. So I think they had to agree to a catch weight bout because it would be really hard to go through that, be ready, and then the fight is called off. So what's your take on this one?
Well, just go back over the stats. It's 6 versus 8. Krylov is 6. Spann is 8. Nikita Krylov is 30, 29, and 9, 3 of 5. Fight Club #1. He has fights with Volkan Gustafsson, great kickboxing, M1 style. Ryan Spann's 31, 21 and 7, 3 of 5. 4 British MMA. Dominic Cruz. Kudalaba is who he fought. Anthony Smith, quick pressure, leads with his back leg. Yeah, it's going to be interesting because time off, like, you know, you don't know who it favors. Like, originally I had Krylov and you had Spann, but I'm not really sure now. I mean, I think I'm going to go with Krylov again, but I mean, why did he fight? It was sickness.
Yeah, he was. They were sick. I think he had some weight cutting issues, and the doctors put the kibosh on it.
No,
because he wasn't looking good. So they're the ones that he didn't say, I'm sick, I can't fight. The doctor said, you're not fighting.
huh? Yeah, cutting weight twice in like a month. That's not good. I think I'm gonna go with Spann. I'm gonna switch my.
That was painful, man.
Yeah. Well, when you said that, I don't like when they cut weight like too soon.
Yeah. That's why they had to do a catch weight bout, because it's just like, you'll kill these guys, man. You know, that's too much on the body. But you know, and I may switch from Spann to Krylov because Spann seemed like his head was messed up. You know what I mean? He
He's
took
really
it hard.
upset.
Yeah, he took it really, really hard. And I don't know, man. I'm gonna switch up. So we're gonna flip flop on this one. I'm gonna go Krylov.
So we're switching our bets. Okay.
But that's the reason. The reason is the psychological damage that Spann, because he was in tears and everything. He was super upset, and I think that's hard to come off of, you know, because he's like, is he gonna do it again? You know, am I gonna go through all this again, and then at the last minute, after weigh-ins, they're gonna call it off again, you know, and that would destroy Spann, I think. So I think his head is not in the right spot for this fight. I'm gonna go with Krylov. All right, next up, we have the heavyweight bout with Alexander Volkov. The Volkov is back against Alexander Romanov. So we got 2 Alexes fighting and 1 Alex on the camera right here. Hey, there we go, baby. What's your stats and specs on this one?
Volkov is 34, 35 and 10, 3 of 5. Strela MMA. His last fight was a win over Rosenstruck. He's a long fighter. He had a loss to Aspinall. Romanov is 32, 16 and 1, 4 of 5. Lion Club. Lost to Marcin Tiberia. Olympic freestyle wrestling, great at ragdolling. I think it's gonna be Volkov likes to stand, long punches, and it looks like they're slow punches, but he gets. I mean, he has the timing. He goes like this, but it's like they can't judge the way he's hitting. I like Romanov in this fight. I think he's gonna go in there. He's gonna ragdoll him. He's gonna pressure him. He's gonna take him down. He's gonna use a lot of those wrestling. I thought originally he was judo because he likes to toss these guys like right on their head. But no, it's a freestyle wrestling style. So I'm going to go with Romanov on this fight.
Wow. You just changed my mind too. Because Volkov really only has punching ability, in my opinion. He can kick okay, but if he gets taken down, he's kind of like a turtle on his back. That's what I see anyway. So I'm going to go with you on this one and go with Romanov. You make a good sense here. Okay, now I am stoked about this fight because there is some bad blood. In fact, they had a run-in. MERAB was talking about a run-in Abu Dhabi that Jan was talking some smack, yeah. And he's like, I don't know why he's doing that. But he didn't want to go in and confront him because I think that's when he was fighting Aldrich, and he didn't want to get mixed up with that. He's like, no, just do your thing. But then I saw a little clip again earlier this morning of those two facing off in the hotel. So it's going to be, yeah, there's going to be a little bit of bad blood there. And I think MERAB has got something to prove because I think he wants to get back at him a little bit for talking a bunch of smack about his teammate. So this one is a bantamweight bout. Petr Yan versus MERAB DVALISHVILI. I massacred his name, but we'll call him MERAB for the sake of conversation. All right, sir, what you got?
Petr Yan is 30, 16-4, 2 of the last 5. Archangel Michael MMA. He has 2 losses, Sean O'Malley and Aljo. Great movement. MERAB is 32, 15-4, 8-fight winning streak. Sarah Longo MMA. He had a fight against Jose Aldo and Marlon Moraes. He has a lot of decision wins. I think this fight is going to be point. I think it's going to go all 5 rounds. It's very interesting because MERAB wants the title, but his boys got the title. I don't want it to be like a Chuck Liddell, Tito Ortiz thing. And Petr Yan, if he wins, he's not going to get a title shot unless Cejudo wins or Sean O'Malley fights for the title and wins. But he did lose to Sean O'Malley, but they would do the Sean O'Malley rematch over him versus Aljo because Aljo beat him. So it's interesting. Now to the fight, Petr Yan is he's got great movement, great kicks. He has kind of like a Volkanovski style where he goes in and out, in and out. MERAB's got great wrestling, great grappling. I think it's going to be a fight of positioning and the way they're going to punch off of the clinch. So I think it's going to be clinches, and they're going to have to start punching right off the clinch, push off punches, because I think this is going to be a point fight. Do you think it's going to be a knockout? Do you think it's going to be early stoppage?
No, I agree with your analysis because I do think it's probably going to go 5 rounds and it's going to go to a decision. And I think if they fight up against the cage as opposed to on the ground or at a distance, I think Yan is going to take an advantage there because he's got sneakier punches and short elbows within the clinch, within that really tight fighting space. So I can see Yan hurting him and rocking him a little bit, enough to gain bigger space and to do his striking and his leg kicks, like you said. If MERAB can get him to the ground, Jan's going to feel like he did with Sterling, the backpack, and he's not letting him go. He's not going to let him back up, and I think he's going to, and that's going to break his will if he holds him down too long, especially in multiple rounds. If he's on top a minute or 2 minutes per round, he'll start to shake and he'll start to falter, and then he'll be more worried about the takedown than doing his leg kicks and getting what he needs done to win the fight. So it's a tale of two cities. If it goes to the ground, I'm picking MERAB. If it stays on the feet, I'm picking Yan. because his striking is much, much better than MERAB's. So man, that's a hard one. I'm gonna go with Jan on this one. I like MERAB a lot, but I'm gonna go with Jan because I'm worried about those elbows. You know, those elbows. I think they're gonna be a factor in this fight, especially if he goes against the cage and refuses to let MERAB take him down. That's what's going to happen. He's going to get some uppercuts, elbows, and start to break him down a little bit, and now it will cause the space, the distance, and where he can start doing those leg kicks and taking care of business.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a tough. I think that team knows what they need to do against Jan. They've had 2 fights already against him. I think Aljo's going to go over a lot of stuff with MERAB on what to do, but Rob doesn't have the body Aljo has, and he doesn't have that like wrestling background. And I think I'm going to go with Jan.
Are you? I talked you into it, huh?
Yeah, because I just don't know. I haven't seen enough from MERAB, even though he's like 8-fight win streak. I haven't seen. He wins by decision, but even the Aljo fight was like he could have lost possibly.
Well, here's the other thing too that you got to take into consideration, Nando, and that is this is MERAB's highest caliber fighter that he has fought, that he's faced. So that's going to change things up too, because MERAB has not fought at this level before, and now he's getting a shot. You know, and if he goes in there worrying about winning or losing as opposed to his fight game, okay, that can weigh on him too, because they're the main card. Jan's been there before. MERAB has not. You know what I mean? So there's levels, right? So MERAB is popped up to this level, and as far as competition goes, and Jan's one of the biggest competitors in the game right now, bantamweight, but also the main card, 5 rounds. You know, Aljo whispering in his ear,
interviews.
That's a lot of pressure.
Yes, it is.
I can see your pain, bro.
It's a tough fight. Yeah, I don't know. It's a tough fight. I'm going to go with Jan. But, you know, and Jan's already talking to Cejudo and calling him Hasbullah, and Cejudo's calling him a potato or whatever. They're already trying to work for that next fight.
Hezbollah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, I'll go with Jan. Huh?
Hezbollah.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a. Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
When is he going to fight?
I don't know. Hope he fights Dana White. That'd be cool. Jumping off the top of the cage. Hey, so you guys, we want to talk to you. We're tossing around this idea today, Nando and I, and we want to talk to you about this. We're going to do, and we're going to try it this weekend. We're going to do Knuckle Sandwich MMA fire clips. Okay, and what that is our reactions as we're watching the fights. We're going to post some of that up there so you can see. You can see where I call the moves before the commentators do. Okay, and you can see Nando breaking down fights and hearing how he views the fights and stuff like that real time. And it should be a lot of fun. They're going to be short clips. We'll try it out, see if you guys like it. If you guys like it, great. Give us a thumbs up and also comment on there. But don't forget, like and subscribe to MMA, Knuckle Sandwich MMA. And we appreciate you guys watching us. Nando, thanks again for all the information on these fighters and fights. You've changed my mind on a couple of the fights of who I was going to pick based on the specs and the stats. And so that's always helpful for me. And until the fire clips are coming up, you guys. All right, we'll see you guys on the flip side. Ciao for now.